If you've done that and you're like, okay, I need something else because I'm not gonna stop brushing my teeth, this is the video for you. Hi everybody, welcome back to my channel. My name is Selena and I'm your holistic guide. I like to talk about food, emotions, nutrition, and really creating a healthy home and lifestyle inside and out. And today I'm going to be sharing with you what to look out in toothpaste, the different kinds of toxic ingredients that sometimes end up in toothpaste, as well as a recipe that really works for remineralizing your teeth and for promoting that oral microbiome. My teeth for me have been kind of a tricky thing because I was very prone to cavities. When I cut back my sugar, I cut back all the things that you generally think cause cavities, and I was still getting cavities. I really knew that I needed to look into not only what I was putting on my teeth, but also what I was putting into my body to make sure that the nutrients that I was taking in were actually conducive to my healing. Any kind of information I tell you about teeth and making sure your teeth are healthy has come from the book Cure Tooth Decay by Remineralizing. I got a lot of my information from there. A lot of my information also that I'm going to be talking about in this video of what's toxic and what to look out for comes from this book. Some of these things that I'm going to mention are toxic and some of them are not toxic, but they are not fully conducive to remineralizing your teeth. And I'm going to explain a few of those. I know for all the crunchies out there, you're probably going to get a little bit confused by some of the things that I say, but I want to just throw it out there because I think there is a lot of confusion in the area of what is like good for your teeth and what actually helps your teeth to be healthy and remineralize well. And so I want to give my 2 cents based off what I've read, based off some of the research that I've done of not only the toxic things, but also things that are just not helpful for your teeth and people think are really helpful, but that may be having some adverse effects. I like to go down to as natural as it can be. Like I've said in other videos, I'm not just looking to get rid of the chemicals, I'm also looking to promote what is the best possible way. So I'm going to talk about that in this video, and then I'm going to share what I do for toothpaste, which is the best recipe that I found. Honestly, as I've researched, this recipe has worked really well for me, and so I'll share that at the end. Let's jump in. I've got my raw milk here. This actually wasn't on purpose. I was just thirsty, but raw milk is one of the things that does help your teeth remineralize. I'll start by saying that a lot of what I'm going to talk to you about is probably considered controversial in mainstream world. This honestly is going to be kind of controversial in the mainstream and in the holistic world, but I'm going to give it to you anyway. Because some of these, like genuine doctors think are still good for you. And then even holistic doctors would say to use products that have some of these things in it. You guys can just take this as you will. I really am trying to get back to the most natural form possible. And with that being said, I would like to give you this raw truth just so that you can have clarity, because there is a lot of confusion here and I want to clear that up for you. Like I've said in other videos, the first thing I really want to mention and hone in on is that nutrition matters way more than anything that you topically put on your teeth. So if you're taking this video and you're just wanting to run with it as the way to remineralize your teeth, I would say this is a complete misuse of the video, and you should reference my host of other videos that I have on topics of nutrition and how to heal your body so that you can actually synthesize these nutrients and allow your teeth to remineralize. But if you've done that and you're like, okay, I need something else because I'm not going to stop brushing my teeth, this is the video for you. I'm going to give you what to avoid in toothpaste so that you are not absorbing toxins and also not being too abrasive and hurting your teeth, hindering the remineralization process. So this list right here is anything that I think should not be in your toothpaste. If it's in your toothpaste, throw it out, just buy a new one. Honestly, some things in this holistic realm, I'm like, wait and just like use it up and then be done. These are things that is just going right into your teeth. So it's very important. You're basically absorbing some of it. So I'm sure a lot of these you're aware shouldn't be in toothpaste because, like I've said in other videos, if you can't pronounce it, don't put it on your body, don't put it in your body. Really, you shouldn't be eating or absorbing anything that isn't edible. Anything that's chemical is off the table. All right, so there's a lot to talk about with all these ingredients I've just listed. If you didn't watch my soap video, go ahead and click on that link above because I go into that video of all the reasons why I think things like endocrine disruptors as well as preservatives are not optimal to have in the ingredient lists in your products. So I'm going to kind of skip to another kind of subsection of these that particularly relate to toothpaste and narrow in on fluoride, abrasive ingredients, binders, glycerin, and the beloved sodium lauryl sulfate. So let's start with fluoride. Here goes the controversy. Once upon a time, people thought that fluoride was the best thing for your teeth in the world. There was some research that came out that said that people who had fluoride in their water were way less prone to have cavities than people in parts of the country that didn't have fluoride in their water. So they persisted that fluoride helps to reduce the risk of cavities. Now that some time has gone on, there is actually a lot of research that shows that although fluoride helps your teeth to not decay as fast, it actually has a host of other adverse effects on other organs in your body and can lead to things like autoimmune conditions, certain kinds of cancers. It's just not good. There's a lot of research showing that at the end of the day, fluoride is not good for most of your body, even though it has this kind of like subtle effect on your teeth. If you actually look into the side effects of fluoride, the side effects are not great. And personally, whenever I'm thinking about what I'm putting on my body, in my body, I'm really wanting stuff that is optimal. I'm not wanting stuff that just does some things, but also could potentially do other things. And so fluoride for me is off the table. This isn't just some kind of like woo-woo thing. This actually is a new discovery that dentists are finding. So much so that a lot of dentists actually are recalling their claims on fluoride. My holistic dentist, for example, actually refuses to use fluoride, even though he is very passionate about helping to preserve teeth and make sure your teeth don't decay. He also very accurately assesses that. Again, there are other things that I'll mention later in my recipe that can replace fluoride that are much more natural, much more biocompatible, and have a similar effect in slowing tooth decay. All right, number 2 is abrasive ingredients. So for this, I would actually say, believe it or not, that baking soda falls into this category of abrasive ingredients.
Wait a minute! Who are you?
I don't think baking soda is all bad, and don't get me wrong, I actually do put baking soda in my toothpaste, but I put very little amount of it, and I'm not just like brushing my teeth with like pure baking soda, because as much as it does have a whitening effect on your teeth and it is proven to help to neutralize acidity levels in your mouth, it isn't the best for preserving outer layer of your teeth, where when, you know, bacteria penetrates and all of that. I don't know, I'm not a dentist, but that first layer of your teeth, it can actually wear away at that, can actually make you more prone to cavities. So again, I'm looking at this stuff holistically. I'm not just saying that this is a toxic ingredient. I actually use baking soda for a variety of things, being aware that too much baking soda can actually have an adverse effect on your teeth. Another factor to think about is that a lot of baking soda actually has aluminum in it. So if you're going to use a baking soda in your toothpaste, I would recommend finding an aluminum-free baking soda. There are other ingredients kind of like this. More of the powdery kinds of things can tend to wear away at that outer layer that's actually really important to be built up so that you can actually remineralize your teeth. And number 3 is binders. And this is another holistic kind of crazy, I don't know, a lot of people probably won't agree with me on this, but there's been a fad recently with people putting activated charcoal on their teeth, and it's showing like the whitening effects of charcoal. Again, this also kind of functions with bentonite clay, as it's like pulling toxins out of your gums, I don't know, out of your teeth. Not always bad. I just think we gotta be cautious of making this an everyday habit and being aware that again, these like powdery things can be abrasive to your teeth, and remembering that binders do pull toxins from your body. So if any of it's being absorbed, these are not the kinds of binders that I would ever really recommend anyone using. But also, I don't know if it has the best effect on helping your teeth to remineralize as much as it might have a good effect on making sure the bacteria is gone or the pathogenic bacteria isn't, you know, overloaded. I do think that you got to be careful because it binds to good minerals too, especially activated charcoal. So being aware of how these things are interacting, corresponding with your body's natural process of remineralizing your teeth, is another reason why I put it on this list of things to avoid. I just avoid it. It's not something that I will never do or never put anywhere near my mouth, but it's more of like not really optimal. All right, number 4. So glycerin is essentially soap. It's why most toothpaste actually gets bubbly, but what most people don't realize is that glycerin actually leaves a film over your teeth, which some people would think is a good thing because then it's like less bacteria, and that's why you should brush your teeth all the time. It's just not my take on it. I actually don't think that the film that glycerin leaves is conducive to remineralization. This is where it kind of gets extremely controversial because it's not necessarily a toxic ingredient, but it's not going to help your teeth optimally remineralize. Again, this comes from Ramiel Nagel's book, Cure Tooth Decay. So if you're interested in all of the more nitty-gritty stuff of that, you can check that out there. I'll link that below. Number 5, but this honestly was the worst of the worst, and if you're wanting to avoid toxic ingredients in toothpaste, this would be the worst of the worst, and that is sodium lauryl sulfate. This is actually a chemical that's used in toothpaste that ends up being the foaming agent for toothpaste. Almost 16,000 different studies have proven that sodium lauryl sulfate is very toxic to the human body. Sodium lauryl sulfate, SLS, is the acronym. For whatever reason, it is still being used in a host of cosmetic products today, as well as most of conventional toothpaste. EWG maintains that this chemical, which apparently is like used as an insecticide, can cause irritation and actually organ toxicity. SLS irritates the mouth and strips away the lining, which can cause canker sores and all sorts of other microbiome imbalances in the mouth. But here's the kicker. SLS shows up on labels not just as sodium lauryl sulfate, although I wish it would. I wish it was obvious. This laundry list of words are actually also different forms, meaning the same thing, sodium lauryl sulfate. So take a quick screenshot of that, look at those, see if you have it in your toothpaste. Pretty depressing, pretty frustrating. It can be very challenging, so this is why I always recommend don't buy things that you can't pronounce the ingredients of. Just don't put it in your body. We don't know what was processed by it. We don't know what it was made of. We don't know how it got here, how it got even in that tube. We don't really know how it was sourced and all that. Okay, I'm here to give you hope though, right? I believe that the safest alternative to toxic toothpaste that you'll buy at the stores, or even these non-toxic hippy-dippy things that you can buy at health food stores and other things, is to make your own toothpaste. You can do it! I know you all might not like me for this. Making your own toothpaste is one of the safest ways to ensure that the toothpaste that you're using on a daily basis, I mean, you're using it 2 times a day, it's basically like a supplement because you're absorbing some of it, making sure that that isn't toxic and that it's optimal for your remineralization of your teeth. Because everybody hates going to the dentist and having cavities. I'm going to link this recipe that I'll put here up on the screen below as well. I got part of this recipe from Bumblebee Apothecary here on YouTube, her video about making toothpaste that's remineralizing, and it's worked so well for me. And my secret ingredient that I've recently researched and found is to actually use doTERRA's On Guard. It's an essential oil blend of clove and a bunch of other herbs that are good for remineralizing your teeth, and apparently it's been proven that it kind of has a similar effect to fluoride, but it's natural and it's oil based, so it's not abrasive to your teeth. So if you're interested in giving that a shot, I would really recommend that. Kind of mixing that with all these different things. Remember that it's not too much baking soda. I will remind you that if you are looking for a non-toxic toothpaste, check out ewg.org's Skin Deep database, plug in the toothpaste that you're looking for, and just kind of evaluate. If you got anything beneficial out of this video, please comment below. I would love to hear your opinions and your experience. Please like and subscribe this video for more nutritional and emotional healing content like this. It is my passion to walk alongside people as they heal and grow. It inspires me and hopefully brings encouragement to you. Thanks for watching. Cheers.